teachers begin to differentiate the instruction in their classrooms, it becomes apparent that not all students approach problem solving in the same way. In his writings about multiple intelligences, Howard Gardner has identified several intelligence preferences or strengths that students rely upon to take in information and solve problems. In a differentiated classroom, teachers facilitate the learning process by recognizing and accommodating these learning preferences when planning and carrying out instruction. For an example of this approach, we traveled to William Southern Elementary School in Independence, Missouri. Here, we will watch as Kimberly Ties teaches a math lesson. As you watch the lesson, see if you can identify the ways in which the teacher has provided for intelligence preferences that include logical, mathematical, kinesthetic, interpersonal, and spatial. As you will see, Mrs. Ties has taken care to group students with different preferences together so that they may benefit from each other's strengths. Now let's watch as Mrs. Ties introduces her lesson.
My name is Kimberly Ties. I teach 3rd grade at William Southern Elementary in Independence, Missouri. And today we're doing a couple of differentiated lessons for you. For me, differentiated is teaching and helping every child feel successful. If every child doesn't feel successful, then they're not learning very well. So today we're doing 2 activities. The first one is a math contest, and the children have been very carefully grouped. So we have a high reader comprehender in each group. We have a child who can solve math problems very carefully in each group. And some of the groups have a child who would need support in math or reading, and that helps them feel very successful. There's a competitive edge to this math contest, which your high children really like. So that gets them more involved and feel successful. So it's a group effort. It's also cooperative learning. After they finish it, some groups will finish very quickly because they're good at problem solving. After they finish, they will be going into a differentiated learning activity where there's a choice board. They're working on a very big All About Me project, and there's a lot of tiered activities they can choose from, starting with basic activities that maybe your average kids would choose, moving on up into some activities that would require some research and some extensive writing that the more motivated children will choose to do. So I think you'll see some great differentiated instruction going on today. And you know what? Just go sit in that brown chair there. Thank you. That'll be good. All right. Today we are getting ready to continue our math contest, which I know you have really enjoyed. And before we get started, let's look up at our agenda here. We are right now going to talk about strategies. We graded yesterday's math contest already this morning. And I know that gave you a lot of things to think about, like, boy, what could I do differently? What could I change today? How could my team do better? So I put up some discussion questions, and we talked about these earlier. So I'd just like some of your input. So what is working well in your math groups right now? What do you think has gone well for you and your team? Jeffrey?
Using our calculator.
And that does help to have someone who can quickly think of a strategy, right?
Yeah, he says something, and sometimes he guesses, and then we use the calculator real quick, and he normally gets it right.
Oh, I just heard 2 strategies there. Sometimes somebody will make a common sense guess, and then they'll back it up with the calculator. Good job. That's a great way to get it right. Michaela?
Sometimes in our group, we do, like, everybody tries to work it out, and then we all make sure we have the right answer. If we don't, then we always check it over again.
Good. Double checking each other. Good job. I hear some really good things here. Now, what about number 2, though? What is not working so well? Anything you've noticed? And maybe everything's working great. But is there anything you feel like maybe it's not working out so well? Like,
one thing that's not working well in our groups is that we're all kind of yelling at each other. Like, that's not the right answer, but.
Oh, so maybe being a little critical about you didn't do it right. Okay, so working on not being so critical, because I told you there's problems on here that a typical 3rd grader is not going to be able to do, right? That's why it's a contest, because there are going to be some that are probably too hard for us. We just have to do the best we can do. All right. We kind of covered number 3, like what Randy said. Have you figured out how each person in the group can help the group? How's that working for you and your group? Brooklyn? Everyone's helping? And you're doing, I noticed. Yeah, everyone's doing well. Everyone's trying to put effort into it. That's good. Let's look at number 5. What math materials have been most helpful to you? What math materials are the most helpful to you right now? Ashley?
Calculator.
How's that helping you?
Because you can type in the numbers.
Yes, those are nice, aren't they? And like I said, don't get calculator crazy though, because if you don't know what you're typing in, then what's the other strategy we should use if you're not sure what you're doing? What's that other strategy we should use, Tristan? Paper, pencil, draw it out, because that's always with you. Drawing it out in your brain, helping you picture that strategy. Good job. Any other math materials, Ryan?
My brain.
Your brain. I would hope so. Did we all bring our brains today?
Yeah.
Good, because the day before spring break, and I was kind of afraid someone would forget. Good job. Okay. Number 6. Now, after grading yesterday's math, what are you planning to do differently? Is there anything you said, not working for me? What could we do a little bit differently? Ben?
We're going to try to use paper and pencil more instead of trying to use the calculator unless we get stumped on this question.
Okay. Sometimes that paper and pencil will just help you see the answer, right? Drawing it out is a great way to visualize. Jeffrey?
Our team is going to start trying to use our heads instead of just the calculator.
Good idea. And I've said that's so important. Before I use the calculator, I use my common sense. And I think, would this answer be in the hundreds? Would this answer be in the tens? How big or how small? Because if you get something crazy on a calculator, your common sense should kick in and go, I don't think that's right, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to go straight to our contest. If you finish early, and I know some of you will, I need your test back because it is a contest. If you want to get your points, you have to give it back to me. And then we're right on to special project time. The power of me, your special project. You're going to look at what your choices were yesterday. If you're continuing one of those projects, you're going to pull that out and stay with it. If you're starting a new project, remember where your resources are that you might need. Are we ready? Okay, good luck. Go. All your tests on your desk. Please don't forget your team's name. Very, very important.
This scoreboard shows how many runs were scored in each inning of a softball game. The team with the most runs won the game. Who won? The Burros or the Panthers? And tie. Let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. So for us. You want to write it, Katrina? One weighs 103 kilograms. The other weighs 98 kilograms. What was the total weight of the He's good at math, I'm good at math.
That's a good team for this assignment, isn't it?
24 scouts went on the camp out. 3 scouts slept in each tent. How many tents did they use?
Don't forget that drawing strategy. Draw what you know. Oh, I think I know it. Draw what you know. Two.
If there's 3 in each 10 and there's 24, less than 24.
I'm good. She's using her common sense.
If there was 3 in each 10, it would be less than 24.
I think it's 21 tenths. I'm guessing. What do you know?
That's 24 tenths and 3 scouts in each 10.
So there were 24 tenths. How did you figure that out?
I have 24 in my head and I had it down. It's kind of, I have one on my finger.
Okay, let's see what she does. You did it in your head. Nice job. The mental math and the drawing, they back each other up. So how many tenths? 8. You know, you're right, Nathan. Sometimes you make a good team.
Mr. Reed operates the machine in effect. He is paid $12 per hour. He works 8 hours on Friday. How much money did he earn on Friday? Okay, add that. 8 times 12. Wait. No, 8 times 12. 96. We end up bought 4 fish for each fish cost is 20. How much was each fish for all 4 fish? Scientists weighed 2 sea turtles, one weighed 130 kilograms, the other weighed 98 kilograms. What was the total weight of the 2 sea turtles? Okay, $201.
Double check. Yes.
103 plus.
She's right. 201. All right. Now, what are you working on with your project? Your graph. What are you graphing? Your family. All right. Get it out. Get started. What are you thinking, guys? Ideas? Colin?
I can't figure it out because he's saying 2. He's saying, I think I don't understand what they're saying. He's saying that 1.5 plus 1.5 is 2, but 3.
1.5 plus 1.5 is 1 whole.
3 whole.
1 whole.
3 whole.
Prove it. Draw it. Somebody figure it out.
3 whole is right.
Is a half. Half and
One
half
half.
make a whole. 1 and a half. You're thinking half. That's half. 2. This says 1 and a half. Oh, I see where we're confused. She was thinking it said half instead of 1 and a half. Get it? Good. Now let's talk about a pair of binoculars that cost $40. She only has $25. How much money does she need? 40 minus 21. 25. That might be your calling, huh? Did that help? Did this help? It did?
Yeah, it's done. Because the lowest one was 12, like about so then we skipped down 11.
I am proud of you guys for thinking of another math resource. You'll have to tell. I mean, you're the only ones that asked for a thermometer. Yes. Yeah. Good job. Okay, you got your project ready? Okay.
We're working on a family tree. Not me. I'm gonna do.
Great. That'll be nice. Okay. Come on. Okay, you finished one of your projects. Yes. Wow, Delaney, I think she's found her gift. I have not seen her step up to bat before. She's what you call a follower. She's a little bit lazy with her work, but you saw in there, she was incredible she was really wanting to solve these problems mentally. And I found that kind of interesting because she was, kind of showing off, and she found that she could do something that she didn't know she could do before. And so that was really cool. Her and Nathan working together. And Nathan said, I'm the reader, and I never told them that I grouped them that way. I never, told them they were grouped. I just picked their groups. But you saw how he said, I'm good at reading, she's good at the problem solving. So they had figured that out, and they were using each other to help. That was so great. I don't know, I saw a spark in her in there that I had not seen before. I thought it went excellent, especially with the groups, the way that I built them. They worked so well together. And for me, like I said earlier, differentiated learning is about students feeling successful, every student. And that's the only way every student can learn. And you can see the children were all feeling successful because they were able to help each other out, give strategies. Every child was involved, and they loved what they were doing because problem solving can be scary for a third grader. Throw them into a problem, they don't know what strategy to use, they kind of freak out, freeze. And this way, math is fun for them, and problem solving doesn't seem so daunting to them. And then the second activity, I know you didn't get to see a lot of, but that is all about choices and what their interests are. They have to earn 100 points, and they have about 20, 30 different projects they can choose from. It's tiered learning, it's tiered projects. The 10-point activities are a little lower level, they require less work, and that way your students who maybe aren't as motivated to really go out there and research something can get it done a little quicker, and again, they feel successful. They're doing what the other kids are doing, but they've made choices that they feel comfortable with. And then the 20-point, 30-point activities, the children who really like to do more research, they like to read a book and write a report, or maybe even perform a play for the class, which takes a lot of work. They write it, the script, they practice it, and do it with one of their classmates. So you've got all the multiple intelligences and interests going on, just a lot more choices. And that's what differentiated learning is trying to fit every child, and no matter how they are, how they learn, or what their interests are, to get them excited about learning.